What do we have here?
We got my Picasso.
All right. What is this, a science project?
No, it's a real authentic Picasso.
Wow.
I came here today to try and pawn my Picasso. It's a lithograph with painting on top of it. There's only 2 of them in existence. I'd like to pawn today because I have some bills coming due, and I'm hoping to get $20,000 for it.
Tell me the story about how you got it.
Well, this was originally given by Picasso to my grandfather.
Okay.
And somehow it ended up in an outdoor boat shed in storage. And I discovered it. Dad said, oh, yeah, keep it. I don't even like it.
What is this, an original painting or a lithograph?
It's actually a lithograph, but it has painting on top of it. You can see some of these lines. He painted on top of it.
Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting. He's got some kind of, like, maybe antelope here. So it would make sense because he did go through a whole period where he did, like, a lot of African art. And it definitely looks African to me. Some people say Picasso's style was actually influenced by African art. If this is what the guy says it is, I've got to have it. Do you have anything to go with it? Any paperwork, anything like that?
No, I don't have any, like, letter of provenance or anything like that.
Okay. What were you wanting to do with it?
I just wanted to pawn it for right now.
Okay. You know, I've bought Picassos for $50,000. I've bought Picassos for $200 or $300. With the range of price on these things, I'm gonna have to have somebody come in and take a look at it.
Okay.
Picasso stuff could be worth anywhere from $100 million to $100. So I gotta make sure what's in front of me is even worth it.
Picasso, huh?
Yeah.
This is what you called me about?
So you heard of the guy.
I have, a little bit. And this is yours?
Yes, it is. There was only 2 of them made.
Wow, this is interesting. I mean, what can you say about Picasso? I mean, he was probably the most important artist of the 20th century. Picasso is one of the giants, and he could do it all, from intense realism to expressionist works to probably what he's most renowned for, which is Cubism. What Cubism was kind of the breaking down of subjects into geometry, pyramids, triangles, circles, so you could look at different subjects from different perspectives. Most of the time when you have a painting, it's one forced perspective.
Right.
But with Cubism, you can look at all sides of an item or an object or a person simultaneously.
So can you take a look at it for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you looking for?
I'm also just looking at the piece a little bit closer to see what media it was done in. I think what this is, I think it's a linocut. It's like an etching, but it's done on linoleum, where they would actually carve in the image on a linoleum surface, and then they would ink it, and then press it into paper. And that would be indicative of the kind of work he would be doing around the late 1930s, early 1940s.
Some of this is paint. So
Wow,
there's
okay, I
and
see
paint
it.
up
I
here.
see some of the embellishment. Wow.
So, Brett, what's your opinion of it? I mean, if it's a Picasso litho, it's worth one thing. Now, if he actually touched it with a brush himself, it's obviously worth a lot more.
You know, I get presented a lot of bogus pieces, and usually it sets off a fire alarm whenever I see a piece that's not legitimate. Based on everything I know about Picasso and what I see here, I feel that this is an authentic Picasso image.
Great. That's really good to hear.
Now let's get to the important part. What would you appraise it at?
Wow. I mean, these are, in fact, Picasso's own embellishments, so that really enhances the value. There's certain elements that detract. It hasn't been really well taken care of. It's been mounted to a board. There's creasing, there's some brown marks. That's kind of like a mold, so that's a problem. But that having been said, it's a really neat piece. With all those factors considered, I think we could be looking at in excess of $100,000.
Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's news I've had in years.
All right, man, appreciate
Hey,
it.
Corey, always a pleasure. Good to see you. Ari, hey, great
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you
a
very
beautiful
much.
piece.
All right, man, so now it's the million-dollar question. You said you wanted to pawn it.
Yeah.
How much are you looking to get?
Well, as close to 20,000 as you can get me.
Now, you know how it works and everything. You know you're gonna have to pay it back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna charge you interest.
Oh, yeah.
On $20,000, we're talking $2,600 a month in interest.
Yeah.
My loan period's 90 days.
Okay.
You're a day late, don't come and ask for it.
Right, I understand.
You know, if you leave here and you never show up again, then I'll score a really good deal on a Picasso.
Yes, you will.
All right, you got a deal, man. Chum will write you up.
Excellent.
Be careful with the Picasso, Big Hoss.
When he said over $100,000, I was like speechless. I hope these guys enjoy having a Picasso on their wall for a while, but I will be back to pick it up.
I just got a call from my art expert, Brett. He said something amazing just walked into his shop. It's not the kind of thing he buys, but he promised me I would love it. So I'm going to Brett's gallery to check it out.
Thanks for coming down. This is the gentleman I wanted you to meet, Ron Raffelli.
How's it going?
How do you do?
So what do we got here?
Ron came in with these vintage Jimi Hendrix photographs, and we're not really dealing much with photography, but I know you're a Hendrix fan, so I had to have you come down here and see some of his pieces, which I think are fantastic.
I've just never seen pictures of Jimi Hendrix like this, never. How in the world did you get photos like this?
I was Jimi's photographer.
Seriously?
That's why I'm all gray. I was looking to start marketing my archive, and this film that I had of Jimi Hendrix had never been seen. I kept them for myself for too long. It's time that people see Jimi Hendrix for who he really was.
How did you get a gig being Jimi Hendrix's photographer?
I went on an audition, and he chose me as his photographer, basically to document his American tour. I become basically a member of the band. These have been in my archive for the last 40 years.
Okay. One of the things I find most amazing about Jimi Hendrix is he was only on the American rock scene for 2 years, and that 2 years changed rock and roll for the next 40 years.
Eric Clapton told me when he first heard Jimi Hendrix play that he thought he was going to put them all out of business. That he would be selling shoes in a month.
Jimi Hendrix did things on a guitar that a lot of people never thought were possible. And since he died so young, his memorabilia is huge. So a bunch of never-before-seen photos would drive some collectors nuts. So what do you think about these?
I think they're great. You were really part of his inner sanctum, and I think that really shows through in the photographs. They don't have the whole persona. Jimi's not a rock god. He's kind of unveiled.
All right, so these are all from the original negatives and the...
Yeah, I mean, they look to be from the original negative to me, and I don't recognize any of these images of this having ever been published.
I buy a lot of stuff, but what surprises a lot of people, I buy fine art too. It can be tough in a recession, but with the right pictures at the right price, I can make a buck or two. So why are you releasing them now?
I have been reborn, and I've taken all my old material, and I wanted to show Jimi the way he should be shown and in the quality that he deserves to be presented in. Nobody had the access that I had. I've captured Jimi, and he's in these pictures. You haven't even seen the most amazing shots yet.
There's more? That's incredible.
That was a real spider. I almost walked into it coming back from another shoot. I jumped back because I'm scared to death of spiders. And Jimi said, "I'm not afraid, I'll take a picture with it." I said, "Okay, put your face up there." And he put his face up there. I focused on the spider, and there it is.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. What I would really like to do is be able to put a lot of these in my store. I mean, I think they would sell like hotcakes. So if you don't mind, I'd really like to make a pile of ones I'd like to buy right now.
Well, by all means.
I'm gonna pick out a stack of what I think are the best images and make him an offer. Art is like anything else. It's always cheaper when you buy in bulk. So Brett, this is sort of where I need your help. What do you think photos like this would go for?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, Ron?
Certainly.
Okay. Now, you haven't marketed any of these shots, ever?
That's right.
Okay. Are they a limited edition, or are they an open edition, or do you know?
It's an open edition signed prints.
Signed prints, and they're archival quality. You supervise everything.
I do it myself.
You do everything. Okay, very good. Do you have like a certificate of authenticity that you're doing that documents the process? Very good, right there.
Okay.
But I could see a piece like this, you know, nicely framed, maybe even a little placard kind of documenting the concert, that type of thing, selling $1,200 to $1,500.
Okay.
But I think they'll continue to go up over time.
And these ones right here?
The smaller ones, less so, maybe in the, you know, the $700, $800 range, I would say, but still very collectible. Vintage photography is very big right now, especially when you're talking about photographs of icons like Jimi Hendrix.
I got 28 photos here. Normally, what galleries do is they take things on consignment and they generally get a really large discount. I'm not really asking for that. It's just not the way I like to do business.
Make me an offer.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you, for this pile right here, I'll give you $10,000.
I can't accept $10,000 for these. They're worth at least 20.
I mean, by the time he frames them, I put them on the wall. I mean, they take up real estate in my store. I'm gonna have to take other things down. What about 12?
Nobody's seen them. They're unpublished. 18.
This is some incredible stuff, but I'm taking all the risk here because you haven't been published before. I'm really seeing like 14,000.
It's my heart and soul. Come on. We're gonna make a fortune.
$15.
Got a deal.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett. I really appreciate it.
Welcome. Look forward to seeing these in the shop.
I'm really excited we were able to make a deal. I think I could make a serious profit once people realize what I have. Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
What is this?
I have Keith Haring artwork.
Okay, cool. Where in the hell did you get these?
I got them from a friend who got them from Keith Haring's Lover's Lover.
From Keith Haring's Lover's Lover.
Yes.
What a tangled web we weave.
I helped out a friend, and he gave me this artwork. I thought it was a little cartoonish and childish, but as soon as I did some research on it, I started to appreciate it, and I hope to walk out of here with a big pile of money.
If they're real, it's mega cool. It really is. Keith Haring, he started off as a graffiti artist, actually went to art school, ended up actually opening a store in New York, and he sold posters and other things. I mean, he sort of created this weird little genre, and when you look at it, you think of a Haring.
Yes.
I love how he did it, though, just some markers. And...
Yeah, he drew on everything, chairs, driftwood, anything.
I mean, it's really simplistic stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it. I guess that makes it art.
Sure. It's definitely interesting.
These might not look like much, but Keith Haring's art really did make a big social impact in the 1980s. I mean, the guy is an icon. I love it when I have a recognizable artist like Haring in my shop.
If they're originals, they're worth a lot of money.
Yes.
And do you want to sell them?
I want to sell them.
And how much do you want for them?
$75,000.
Let me have someone check these out, and if he says they're legit, we'll do something.
Looking forward to it.
I'll be right back, man.
I'm really excited to have somebody look at it. I think that it's rare, and I hope they're worth a lot of money.
These are the herrings you were telling me about.
Alleged Haring.
Alleged herrings, okay. These are great. The thing about Keith Haring, you see a Keith Haring, you know it's a Keith Haring. It wouldn't be a stretch to call him the world's first fine art cartoonist. I mean, that was kind of his thing. As a matter of fact, you see the outline on the pieces? He did that intentionally to make it seem like the viewer was looking at a television screen, you know, watching a cartoon. Got started as a tagger. Actually did a lot of these same characters in the New York subway system. That's kind of how he got his start.
Okay.
And he took a lot of pride in coming up with these really simple, but yet really iconic and identifiable figures. And I see a lot of them in here. You see, you've got the radiant baby. He was very well known for the baby. The three-eyed smiley face, that was another big thing. The snake, so very unique.
Okay, so do you think they're real?
That is a real concern. So let me see if I can identify anything that tips me off one way or the other. It's definitely not a print. You can see the inks, you can see where they're laid on and would be applied with a tip. So it's definitely a one of a kind. Now, I'm looking at the signature, and it looks pretty good. He almost always put the K in there, K period Haring, and the cross is actually left over from his tagging days.
Okay.
So that's kind of an identifying symbol there. And he would comment on consumerism. You've got the dollar bill there. He would comment on religion. He always incorporated a cross into his work. So I don't think they're forgeries. I think they're legitimate Haring originals.
Me too.
Okay, so what do you think they're worth?
You know, pop art is doing really well right now.
All right.
Andy Warhol is just through the roof, and Haring is certainly in that group. I could see them in a gallery in New York in the $40,000 to $50,000 range.
Each.
Each.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Rick.
Hey, pleasure as always.
Thank
Chip,
you very
it was
much.
nice meeting you. You've got some nice pieces here.
Okay. So, I'll give you 45 grand for it. I can probably find them wholesale for 30 grand a piece.
I would say that 50,000 and they're yours. That's an easy $10,000 in your pocket.
I'll go 48 grand. That's what I'll go. You want 48,000, I will give you 48,000. That's not a penny more. I have a store to run.
49,000?
No. Find someone else to pay you that much money cash. You won't find it here in this town.
All right, deal.
Okay, man. All right, I'll meet you right up front, and we'll do some paperwork.
All right. Only in America can you bring a couple cartoon figures in to a pawn shop and walk out with $48,000. That's a brand new truck. A nice one.
Hey, what do we have here?
Picasso vase,
A Picasso vase.
painted by himself.
This looks like one of his owl vases. He was making them in the 40s and 50s in France. I'm telling you, just the design of it is a hoot.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my Picasso wood owl vase. This Picasso piece is very unique because there were only 500 made. And I'm sure most of them now are in museums or in private collections. I've enjoyed this vase for over 35 years. My wife and I, we're downsizing now, and this is part of the downsizing. I'm hoping to get $35,000 for this Picasso owl piece.
It's really cool. Yeah, Ed Picasso, I mean, like, he's one of the most famous artists in the world. Early 1900s, he's in Paris, he's in Barcelona. He gets a reputation for himself as a modern artist. He comes up with Cubism and all these other things. After World War II, I mean, he was known throughout the world. And I do know a little bit of the story with this. In the 1940s, Picasso started getting interested in ceramics. And him and some other people came up with the idea, let's make Picassos for the masses. So they started coming up with ceramic ideas, and this owl was one of them. And it's sort of weird, because they are limited edition of 500, but I know there's over at least 100 different owls, and each one of those is 500. They sold tons and tons of them, and no one expected them to be worth a whole lot of money. I know they're worth a whole lot of money now. I know they're marked on the bottom. And that's about all I know, is that they're marked on the bottom. I don't know what all this stuff means on the bottom. And I know these are faked. The big question, how much you want for it?
I'll take $35,000.
Okay. I am definitely not an expert in Picasso ceramics. So if you can hang out a little bit,
Sure.
let me go grab my art guy. I'll get him down here. He'll take a look at it, and we'll go from there.
Great.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm sure on some days that Al is wiser than some of my employees. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Rick, how are you today?
Doing great. Here's what I called you about.
That is a Pablo Picasso. I've recognized that a mile away.
So like I told you on the phone, what I do know is that they were never supposed to be expensive. Now they're expensive, and I know people fake them.
Right. They're also incredibly hot on the market right now. The reason the auction houses like them is there's a lot of them, and that particular one I know for a fact he made 500 of. So it's not hard for them to get the supply. So if I put this to auction, my odds of selling it, it's about 90%. So they're very, very desirable.
So my big question is it real?
Well, let me put my gloves on and take a look at it. From here, it looks right. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna reach into there and grab her from you. First thing we're gonna do is flip it over, and we're gonna look at the stamps. So it's got the edition Picasso, and very importantly, the lettering and everything is perfect on it. Another thing I look at is it's semi-glazed. Here is very shiny, here is not very shiny. That's good. All the stamps are there, the markings are right, but the thing that's most surprising is the condition. It's fantastic, it's pristine.
So if If I buy this off this guy, what can I sell it for?
Here's the weird thing about the ceramics. This one sells for up to 61 grand on the retail market. That's not a realistic price, but it's the people list it, you know, then they negotiate down. I think you could safely figure you're going to get it right around 25,000 for it.
Okay, so I could retail this for 20 to 25,000.
That's my guess, yeah.
All right, thanks, Chad. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys take it easy. Bye-bye.
Okay, Chad says it's real. And what he said about going online and looking at prices is true with everything. People
Of course,
can
yeah.
ask all day long. It's what they get in the end that's important. I give 15 grand for it.
No, it's not gonna make it.
I got salesmen at commissions, and I mean,
How about 19?
I go 16,000.
How about 19?
I'll give you 17,000.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, great. I'll meet you right around the corner. I'll do some paperwork, and I'll get you paid.
Okay.
That's a hoot. I own a Picasso.
Rick asked me to swing by Brett's shop and have a picture framed while I was out and about.
Look what the cat dragged in. How you
Hey,
doing, Chum? Good
what's
to see
happening?
you.
How
It's
you
been a
doing?
while. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I came to get this picture framed for Rick.
Kat's the framing queen. She'll take a look at that. Before you get started with Kat, though, I want to show you this new piece we're bringing in for the gallery.
Okay, what do you got?
This is a Picasso. Miriam is representing this piece.
Sweet.
It's called La Crâne de Chèvre sur la table. It means goat skull on table.
It is a pretty nice piece.
It's for sale.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. My friend purchased this piece 35 years ago from a gallery. It is the fourth print out of 150. Then it was appraised at 19.5, so I think 16,000 is a good price.
This is pretty cool. So what period of Picasso is this from?
Around 1953, so he was 71 years old.
It's about the right time in his life to paint the goat skull on the table.
Yeah, exactly. The printing technique, correct me if I'm wrong, this was aquatint,
Correct.
Which is basically an etching technique where it really gives it the look of an original watercolor. You get a lot of the color, you get a lot of the texture that you wouldn't get otherwise in a flat print. Picasso is probably the world's most recognized fine artist, certainly the most important artist of the 20th century, famous for pioneering Cubism and abstract expressionism. He was a genius. It's in great shape, no tears, no blemishes.
Cool. So you don't mind if I try to buy this thing?
Not at all.
Okay, well, I'd have to resell it if I bought it, but I'd be interested in making an offer.
All right, what we're looking at.
You know, I'm gonna have to call the big boss.
Okay, by all means.
Yo, what's happening,
Hey,
dude?
what's up?
I'm just fixing to buy this Picasso right here. Hello?
What?
I'm about to buy this Picasso. I just wanted to call you and let you know.
What are you doing me buying a Picasso?
No, really, it's cool. Look. It's a,
No, it's not cool.
it's a Picasso. Look.
You don't know anything about Picasso. I thought you were just supposed to go over to Brett's and get something framed.
Hold on. Talk to Rick for me.
Rick, hey, it's Brett. This is a Picasso we were going to bring in to put in the new gallery.
Okay, how much you want for it?
Well, it appraised for 19.5. We're looking to get about 16 out of it.
Really?
Yep.
Let me talk to Chum real quick.
Okay.
Sure. Chum?
All right, Chum, go somewhere where I can talk to you privately, all right?
Rick wouldn't want to talk in private if he wasn't going to give me a shot at buying this thing. Now, I just hope he doesn't want me to offer some crazy low price.
Don't pay more than 11,000 for it, period.
All right, I got...
That's a good deal. Don't screw this up. Pay $11,000 for it and bring it to the pawn shop. Not a penny more, all right?
All right, no problem. I gotta go, bye.
Later, Chum.
Art tends to appraise for way higher than the actual selling price because other than previous sales, it's all a bit subjective. Rick shouldn't worry, though. I've got this. How about 9,000?
Sorry. It's a Picasso. How about 14.5?
That's still just too high for me. I mean, I could bump it up a little, maybe 10.5.
10.5? Wow. What about 12?
I mean, 10.5 is what I'm gonna offer. I'm firm there.
Okay, can you come up to 11?
My boss might get mad. It is a Picasso. And I'll do 11,000.
All right,
You got a deal? You got to bring it on down to the pawn shop, though.
wonderful. We'll bring it down. Getting $11,000 doesn't look very good, having, appraised for $19,500, but we sold it, and I think $11,000 will be fine with her.
Hey, Rich, you want to come check this out?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm just assuming it's a Peter Max.
That it is.
Pretty interesting. Peter Max has got a really weird storied life. You know what I mean? This guy was born in like Nazi Germany, but his family doesn't go like to the States or England. They go to China.
The painting is a Peter Max painting, originally painted in 2010. It's the Statue of Liberty series. I got the painting from a family friend who actually got it from Peter Max himself at an auction in New York. I'm looking to sell the Peter Max painting to invest money into my new company.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Max, really interesting guy. He started painting sort of like this, in the 60s. He loved comic books when he was a kid. So that's why he sort of liked this art. And in the 70s, he started doing a Statue of Liberty. He worked with Lee Iacocca to restore the Statue of Liberty because literally in the early 80s, there was big gaping holes in the Statue of Liberty because the whole thing's made out of copper and it really not sealed or anything, and it just started slowly falling apart.
Peter Max has a very distinctive style, and he's still popular today. He's done posters for the Olympics, the Grammys, and a host of other things. His work has been known to sell for over $100,000. If this thing is real, it will be a great item in my shop.
So you want to sell this?
Yeah, I'm interested in selling it, yeah.
How much were you looking to get out of it?
Based on what the market is, I'm trying to get about $35,000.
Whoa. It's interesting. This looks like it's an original and all that. And you got paperwork with it?
Yeah, I do have paperwork.
Okay. Let me have someone look at it. The problem with Peter Max is he has so much stuff out there, okay? I'm not taking away. He's mega iconic. People absolutely love him, but I don't know exactly what the market's like at the moment. So, can you hang out for a little bit?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm gonna go give someone a call.
I think an expert coming in is great, and I'm looking forward to what he thinks of the piece.
This is it, the Peter Max.
Peter Max. He's one of those few artists that, when you see him, you know it's a Peter Max. This is a nice work. He was also very much into American jazz. And he was one of the very first artists that would paint to music. He would actually, play the music, and you can see that his work, even to this day, has a real lyrical quality. You can almost imagine the jazz music playing in the background as he applies the colors. Peter Max is a very interesting artist. He's probably the most omnipresent artist you'll find. His work can be found on the side of cruise ships, on album covers, you name it. Ever since the 60s, he's been identifiable for his semi-psychedelic and just very fluid abstract compositions. What I'd like to do is just take a closer look. I just want to see maybe if it's a printed base that he embellished or if it's a completely one-of-a-kind work. A lot of times, the image of the Statue of Liberty would be a lithograph, and then he would add dollops of acrylic on top of it. I don't think that's the case with this one. I think the visage was applied with a stencil, but I don't think it's a print.
Okay.
And then he added the acrylic, all the different colors and the embellishments around the side. So it's definitely an original, and it's certainly a one-of-a-kind.
Okay. So, what's the market on this thing? Because I know there's a lot of them out there.
Right. Yeah, the good news is this is a fairly iconic image. The Statue of Liberty, he's identified for that, so that's a good thing. The bad thing is, he's done a lot of them. He's probably done over 1,000 of these type of images over the course of his career. The other thing is he's still a living, working artist, so he's producing more of these as time goes on. In a gallery situation, you might see this same work for $50,000, but they're so prevalent, you might find the same work selling for $10,000 on the internet. So that's the conundrum. So I think an appropriate value for a work like this would probably be in the $25,000 range.
All right, well, thanks, man.
Rick, hey, it's a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Willie, that's a nice work.
Thank you, nice
All
to
right,
meet you.
thank you, nice meeting you. If the shop is able to negotiate, Peter Max, he's a living icon, so I think they're gonna have an audience for it here at the shop.
What would be the best price you'd take?
I'm pretty firm on my $35,000 price.
It's tough. I'll give you 10 grand.
He said it's worth 25. Can you do 15?
I'll go 12 grand. That's cash money. You can walk out of here. I'm stuck with it. I hang it on my wall. If it doesn't sell, it's my problem, and you walk away with cash.
All right, you got a deal.
Sweet, man. Follow me, and we'll do some paperwork.
Sounds good.
This way.
I'm taking the $12,000 offer because I think with those funds, I could do some real things for my business that I want to do.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. How about you?
I don't know. I'm scared of clowns, so maybe not that good.
It's an original Red Skelton painting.
Okay.
The only one he ever did of Frank Sinatra.
Red Skelton. He was on everything. He was on Laugh-In. Every time there was a Dean Martin roast, he was on it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most guys younger than me don't know who he is.
You get to the generation under 30, they wouldn't know.
I'm thinking under 40 or under 50, yeah.
This painting was taken from a Sinatra character, Joe E. Lewis, that he did in a clown costume. Because they both performed here for so long, they were good friends, I really feel that it's worthy of a good vintage Vegas collector.
That is really neat. Red Skelton, he was an interesting guy. He started off in vaudeville really young, right?
Right.
Ended up doing a lot on radio, television, he did movies, and every once in a while he dressed up like a clown, but in general he was just an actor and he always painted on the side a little bit. Red Skelton had a long, storied life. On top of all that, he was a talented artist. And if this Frank Sinatra clown painting is real, it could be worth a chunk of change. Where did you get this?
I heard about it at his 80th birthday party because I was Red's opening act for 7 years.
That must have been really neat working with him because, like you said, he's seen it all.
Yeah.
You opened for him, so what did you do?
I was a stand-up comic. And backstage, he was telling us about how he did Ocean's 11 with Frank and how he lived next to him down in Palm Springs. And then he said, you know, I did a painting of him. It was called Old Blue Eyes and Bow Ties. This was it. After he passed away, I looked for that painting probably 12 years. I finally found the collector that had it.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that Frank Sinatra actually opened up for Skelton a few times, like in vaudeville acts and live performances. So before Sinatra got big. Sinatra got big in, what, the late 30s? Right around 1940? Yeah, and Red Skelton had already made a name for himself as a stand-up guy. And they had a relationship for years and years.
Actually, this is the still that he did it from, and so the reason he called it Blue Eyes and Bow Ties is he started with the bow tie, the angle of the head, the stark blue eyes, which you see in there, the high forehead, and then just made him into a clown. And it was authenticated as Old Blue Eyes. So this is the certificate of authenticity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much were you looking for?
I'd like to get $20,000.
Okay. At the peak of his popularity, I know some of his paintings went for close to $100,000.
Right.
Right now, I don't know exactly what they're going for. Remember, art is sort of like the stock market. It is all over the damn place.
Yeah.
So I got to figure a price out, and I just got to make sure it's real.
Okay.
You know, if you look at this, you can tell that wouldn't be that difficult to maybe do it yourself.
Yeah.
A talented forger could come up with this. All right. So I'm going to call someone up to look at this.
Okay.
This is, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Okay. It's, does not look like Frank Sinatra. I will be right back, okay?
All right. I would love to see what an expert has to say about it. Hopefully, it's not too low of a price.
I mean, Red Skelton, I actually used to watch him quite a bit, and I loved it. Like other vaudeville performers, he could do it all. I mean, he was a little bit of a Renaissance man in addition to being a clown and a comedian. So really, you know, kind of the last of a generation. Red Skelton's artwork really reflects the character, the man. It's not perfect, it's naive in a lot of respects, but it gives you a good positive feeling, which is what Red Skelton did throughout his career. Rick, I know you had me down here for a reason. Did you have concerns about authenticity?
Oh, yeah, I got a million things. First off, it doesn't look like anything a Red Skelton ever did, because usually they're like a dark background, and it doesn't look like Frank Sinatra, and is it a fake, and you got a notebook? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Red Skelton, he was a primitive artist, you know, so a lot of his portraits probably wouldn't look like the spitting image of who he was trying to create. But anybody who's going to be interested in this is going to want it to look a lot more like Frank Sinatra than it does. Now, from an authenticity standpoint, I do know Red Skelton did a lot of pastels on linen. He actually preferred to work on linen because he felt like the pastel and the colors would lay on top a little bit better. So from an authenticity standpoint, I mean, I can see it.
What do you think it's worth?
I think if you could get this in front of the right collector, somebody who believes that this could be an image from one of Frank Sinatra's quintessential movies, I think this could be, you know, a $10,000, $15,000 painting.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Hey, Rick, it was a pleasure. All right. It is what I would classify as a niche market because you couple the subject matter, clowns, with an entertainer who, for the under 40 crowd, there's not a real knowledge or an insight for it. Well, I think if Rick can get it in front of the right collector, though, he may have a real winner.
Whew. I mean, so what's your rock bottom price?
I would go 12.
I'll give you $7,500 for it. Remember, the population of the world who knows who he is dying off quickly. There's no other way to really put it. And
But the real collectors are there.
I know they're there.
Yeah. You go 85.
No. The people who do have that kind of money, there's 20,000 different styles they can choose from.
True. Right.
Okay? So it is a calculated risk on my part, and that's the highest my calculator goes to is $7,500.
I think that's okay.
All right. We got a deal. Thanks a lot. Shake again, as a matter of fact. I will meet you over there, and we'll do some paperwork.
Okay. I really had a personal connection with Red Skelton, and I know the value of these pieces. Somebody is going to see this piece and immediately want to buy it.